أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تنزيل الكتاب من الله العزيز الحكيم إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين ألا لله الدين الخالص والذين اتخذوا من دونه أولياء ما نعبدهم إلا ليقربونا إلى الله زلفى إن الله يحكم بينهم فيما هم فيه يختلفون إن الله لا يهدي من هو كاذب كفار صدق الله العظيم. These are ayats from the Surah of Zomar. The previous lecture we began with the first ayah to this surah, and at that speech we talked about Tanzil, which is descent of the book, and we talked about Al-Kitab, which the Quran mentioned by it, and we were talking about Allah, which is mentioned in ayah, Tanzilul Kitabi min Allah. The descent of the book is from Allah. And we were talking about Him. We said that Allah is the name of God in Islam, and this is a unique name for Allah, and there is some differences between the usage of God and the usage of Allah. In English, when you say God, you may use it for female gender, and you may use it as a plural, but Allah has no gender and has no number at all. You cannot say many Allah, or you can this noun has no gender and has no plural case. So this is a unique usage of name of God in Islam. Well, and just note that in our beloved Prophet Jesus, and in his language, which was Aramaic language, in that language also God, the name of God was Allah, that language which is the sister language of Arabic. So Jesus sallallahu alaihi wasallam was invoking Allah as we are invoking Him by the name of Allah. And we believe that this name is chosen by Allah for Himself, and all the previous prophets and messengers, all of them, has used this name for Allah, starting with Adam, and by the last, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of them has used this name for the only one God, Allah. This book is from that one, from Allah. The unique usage of this name, the unique usage of Allah as a personal name for of God, is a reflection of Islamic emphasis on the purity of the belief in God, which is the essence of all God's messengers. And before of this, Islam considers associating any deity or personality with Allah as a deadly sin which Allah will never forgive, despite the fact that He may forgive all other sins. So the unique usage of Allah is has a relation with the foundation of Islam. Because in Islam, the first and important thing is your belief. The importance of the belief is more important than your deeds, because there is no right deed, there is no righteous deeds without belief. All of the deeds depends on a sound belief. So first of all, a human being, a man, should give importance, should be careful about his belief before his deed, because if you do not have a sound belief, then your deed will not sense anything, will not mean anything. So about Islam, we should mention that in Islam there is no deity other than Allah. Any person, whether it be your father or your mother, or whether it be a thing like sun or moon or river or light or fire, or anyone you like moon stars, or like sheikhs, anyone. All of them are created beings or things. None of them is worthy of being given worship. In Islam, worshipping others like you is a big sin and unacceptable in Islam. So Allah, whenever we say Allah, we mention that there is no God other than Him, and He is the only one God. And this was the message of all of the prophets of Allah when He sent them to their nations. And all of the prophets and the messengers spread the same message, the same unifying message, that there is no deity, no divine one other than Allah. He is the only one who has the right to be worshipped. All of the messengers spread this message in their respective nations. So at the beginning of the surah, we should know that we are receiving these ayats and this book from the only one God, namely Allah. And in this ayah, Allah says that Al-Aziz, which is almighty, has all the power and no rival for Himself. He is the only one God, and other than Him, no one has power against Him. He is every time higher than everything. Al-Aziz, almighty, controls the power, controls all of the power in His hands. He is Al-Aziz. Obviously, we can say that when we say God, we mention something like this, Almighty. He should not have a limitation in His power. If we are talking about someone who has a limitation in his power, then we are talking about a slave. Because the common thing between us, between the slaves, between the creatures, that all of us has a limitation in his knowledge, in his power, in everything we have, there is a limitation. So because of this point, we are slaves. But when we say God, when we say deity, we want to mention someone other than, or who is out of this limitation. Because of this specific reason, we say God. So, through this perspective, we can say that it's illogical to assign a second God. Because when you say Al-Aziz to a God, A, and you say Al-Aziz to a God B, the second one, it's impossible to say this, because you said that He is almighty, He who controls all the power. So how can the second one control the power when the first one, while the first one control all of the power? When you say has power over all things, then you are mentioning the one. You cannot say the second. You cannot assign a second deity or a second God and say about him that he is also God. If that's the case, who controls the other? If he is if the first one controls everything, and then it means he controls the other, the second one. Then it means also the second one is not a deity. He is already a slave. He is already a creature because he had control by the first one. So we cannot assign a second God logically. It's impossible things. It's an absurd thing to assign a second God, to assign a third God. And so, because of this, Islam presents before us the truth, which when we hear them, we know that these are the truth. There is only one God, and there is no God other than Him. This is the first step to becoming a Muslim, but believe me that it is already is the last step, because it's very important. It's very important, and everything depends on this pure belief. And in Islam, everything is reflection of this pure belief. If anyone in the world, anywhere, anywhere, if he understood this reality, if he realized that there should be only one creator in the universe, then he is about to become Muslim. One may say that I do not assign any God. I do not consider about him. I have already forget about him. And I am living as the others, and I am happy. No need to assign any God. This is already a problem, may say. And may say that it's also illogical to assign a God. We didn't see him, we didn't meet him, so we are those who say no God, no need to talk about God. But this is illogical also, because our existence, our living, and everything surrounding us, and this life and this universe and this system is already shows to us that there need to be a finder, there need to be a creator. Because if we say that things happens without reason, then no need to talk anything. No need to talk anything, and there is no science absolutely, because everything began with this simple logic. If there is a thing, then something made it happen. There should be a reason. If your fingertips figure found on any thing, then it means that you touched it. You touched that thing. This is a very clear thing. We already know that everything need a reason. So how can we say that our existence, our life, ourself, we are not simple thing. We are realizing ourselves, and we show that we see that we are very complex and very interesting. How can we say that about our existence, that we are nothing, and we came out without a reason, without a planner, without a creator, without any prepare anything? How can we say that this procedure run out without any controller. So the finder, the creator, is very clear as our life, as our existence. If we are existed, then our finder, our creator is also existed. And before us, he should be, because he created us. All of the messengers and all of the prophets, when they came to their nations, they said to them, قَالَتْ لَهُمْ رُسُلُهُمْ أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكٌّ. Their prophet said to them, is there any doubt about Allah? Is there a doubt? There is no doubt. No need to talk about the existence of Allah. He is, surely he should be, because we are. If we are existed, then he should be also, because we didn't create ourselves, and our Father didn't create us, and we do not know who created us, but we know that our existence need an exister and creator. So no need to talk if he was or not. Is he mawjood, a being or not? He is already exists. But the prophets and the messengers said to them, they said to their nations that there is no partner to him. They were knowing that there is a God, a bigger God, Rabbul Arsh al-Azim. Also the mushrikun in Quraysh and our prophets' nations, they also were knowing that there is Allah, but they were attributing partners to him. They were associating some deities with Allah. And the prophet, our prophet, and also the previous prophets warned their nations that there is no God beside Allah, and there is no doubt about his existence. So we have an evidence about the only one God, but we do not have the evidence about the second God, about the third God. So Quran enjoins us that we do not follow anything, we do not have evidence about it. وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. If you do not have a knowledge about a thing, then do not follow him. Do not say whatever the people say yes, you say yes. Whatever the people say no, you say no. Do not be like this. Follow anything. You can follow only a thing that you have knowledge about it. You consider it, you yourself realized it, not to just copy and paste from the people. How my father believe, I believe as him, copying and pasting to yourself. This is a blindly way, and Islam warns us from being like this in any matter. And Allah in Quran also He is inviting us to look to the Quran with this perspective, with these eyes. Is there a wrong in this Quran? By this way we can reach that level that the Quran is Allah's, that is from Allah. If some Muslim, if any Muslim anywhere do not read Quran and do not consider about it, do not try to comprehend it, do not read it, and he is already saying that this is from Allah, but he is not sure. How can he be sure about it if he did not realize, if he did not read it? Then he is only imitating his parents or his nations, and imitations bring us nothing, because this imitation is not belongs to you. This belief is not belongs to you. If you want to make it belongs to you, then you should read it and you should analyze it. And you should say, this is true. According me, according my eyes, according my heart, according my mind, according my research, this is true. When you say this word, then it belongs to you and it means something. It means something. But if you are only imitating your father, it doesn't mean if your father untruth or not, because you are only imitating. If he had on a false way, then you would be false. You would be follow him, like the mushrikun of Quraysh. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Quran say, or Allah make him saying, because this verse in Quran, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِ, this is my way, أَدْعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ, I'm inviting you to Allah, not to myself. I'm inviting you to the only one God. The Prophet also was inviting the people to the only one God. And this was the integral part of his message. La ilaha illallah. He was wanting from the people only this world. He said to his uncle, I want from you only one word. Say it. Say it, only one word. A kalima. And the same kalima in the Quran, to the same kalima, Allah enjoined us to invite all the people, especially the people of the book, namely the Christians and the Jews. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ, say, all the people of the book, تَعَالَوْا, come, إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ, to a kalima, only one word, Allah, which was used by our Prophet Jesus also, Moses also, and all of them. The same word, Allah, which means that there is no God other than God, the only one God. تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ. All the prophets invited the people to this single word, to this single kalima. تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا. Abandon this, abandon any belief other than the only one God, the second, the third, or being a God in three format, in three form. These as the belief of the Christians, which is not mentioned in the Bible and which is entered the Christians after a while, after Prophet Jesus sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's well known today that this belief entered the Christianity after a while, and it's not a belief of our Prophet Jesus. Our Prophet Jesus was saying Allah, the only one God. And when you read the Old Testament or the New Testament, you can realize that there is only one God, no second. One God and created everything. We are all of us. Everything is created being or thing other than Allah. ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ. This is your Lord. خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Creator of everything. لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ. There is no ilah, no God, no deity other than Him. So the prophets, the messengers, all of them of Allah invited the people to this reality, which is logic, which is understandable for the humans. And when the people believe in this way, which they feel confident inside of them. Tanzilul Kitab. This kitab is from Him. So be careful that you are reading His book. Comes to you vertically, not horizontally, and this is a book from Allah, from the only one God. Al-Aziz, Almighty. And we said that these names of Allah, attributes of Allah, makes us to know that Allah is the only one, because we cannot say the same, we cannot attribute the same name to anyone other. It's illogical to say, to second to anyone Al-Aziz, who controls everything, who controls all the power, who is higher than everything. How can you say for a second one? Then it will be contradictory to the first one. So that it can't be a second God. It can't be a second deity. If there is, some people says this, then this is worshipping the slaves, worshipping someone who is like you, who is a stone or a man or anything. If you are worshipping other than Allah, then you are worshipping someone like you, who cannot bring you any benefit or any harm. Everything is controlled by Al-Aziz. So Allah mentioned about himself Al-Aziz, for us to understand that Allah controls all the power. And Al-Hakim, he mentioned secondly for another attribute. Al-Hakim, what does it mean? Who do whatever he do, who do all of them according his wisdom. There is nothing done by Allah in vain. Done but nothing, meaning nothing. No such thing in deeds of Allah. Allah does everything according his wisdom. Wisdomly does all of them, controls all of the power, but with his wisdom. So it's very important that we learned right now that there is a one who controls all the power, but he is wisdom. He do not do anything in vain. So every man, everything in this universe can be confident with this important information, that the one who controls all the power, he is wisdom. He is all wisdom. He does everything. He who is judicious, who does everything through his wisdom. So we cannot consider about him an injustice. He does not cause an injustice. He does not harm his slaves without a reason. He does everything in according wisdom. He is just, al-adl. So this is very important news for us. For the people who is righteous, this is very important information about the Creator, that he is Al-Aziz, Al-Hakim. For instance, if we imagine that there is only one God, but he is not wisdom, and there is no control for him, then this power will do anything, can harm anyone. It is very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Just imagine it. There is a power and has no wisdom. He can do anything, anywhere. The atheist considers the God like this, which is no conscience, no wisdom. He is only a pure power. Before everything, there was a power. The atheists, some atheists imagine like this. They say there was a thing. Before everything, there was a power, pure power, but without conscience. He cannot enjoy anything. He cannot say, do this, do not this. He has no wisdom. He has no mind. He does not speak. He does not command anything without conscience. They imagine the God like this, but they acknowledge that there should be a power before everything. So these all things came out from that thing. This is common between us, that there should be between the mu'minun, between the believers and the atheists, that there should be a power before everything. It's very clear. But when they say that power cannot command anything, has no wisdom, we say, why? And how we are conscious we can speak, we can think. We come from thing that has no conscience. We speak, but he does not speak. We think, we are able to think, but he is not able to think. We are able to command, he is not able to command. How can we come from such a thing? That this is illogical. We say that power, Allah says, Al-Aziz, yes, he is powerful. He has all the power in his hand. He controls all of it. And he is Al-Hakim. He does everything. He uses his power with his wisdom. He knows the just and he recognizes the injustice. He commands his slaves for the right path, and he prohibits the false for his slaves. He is Al-Aziz and he is Al-Hakim. So Allah, who has the power, also has the knowledge, Al-Hakim, and uses his power, uses his mighty in this way. And so we cannot consider about him anything vain or anything false, and we cannot consider anything ugly about him, anything unjust about him, because he is Al-Hakim. You are receiving these ayats from Allah Al-Aziz, Al-Hakim. Then these ayats also from his deeds. He sent to the people. He had made them descend to the Prophet. So these ayats also from his hikmah, from his wisdom, includes his wisdom in it. Remember that we said Allah does not anything out of hikmah. So the Quran or his revelations to all the prophets also comes out from his hikmah. And he teaches the people, he teaches the man with hikmah. He guides them to the right path, because he is Al-Hakim. We cannot consider about him that he misguides the people. Then how can he Al-Hakim? How can he has wisdom and does everything through his wisdom? So Allah guides the people. Allah has guided them in the past and today through this message, which is the complete and perfect form of the unifying message of Allah, which he had sent them to the previous prophets also. Al-Hakim, he has wisdom, and we said that Allah sent his revelations to the people as a reflection of his wisdom, and he wants to guide them. Now I'm passing to the second ayah. Inna anzalna ilayka al-kitaba. Indeed, we had made it descended to you, not somebody else. We are controlling this process. We are descending it to you. Inna anzalna, we made it descend to you, ilayka. What he had descend? Al-kitaba. We had descend to you al-kitab bil-haqqi, as a reflection of the haqq, the truth. With the truth, we made descend the book to you with truth. This revelations, I mean the Quran, has the truth in it. Inna anzalna ilayka al-kitaba bil-haqqi. With the truth, we had made we descend the truth to you, the book to you. Inna anzalna. Allah mentioned to himself. Inna, not somebody else. We are controlling this process also, and we made it descend to you. Inna anzalna ilayka. So Allah says ilayka, to you. That means he chose whom he will descend the book. And in another ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Ahum yaqsimuna rahmat rabbik. When the Quraysh said, why Allah sending Muhammad as a prophet? Isn't there a man other than him to be sent a prophet? لولا أنزل هذا القرآن على رجل من القريتين عظيم. Why does Allah did not send the Quran to both of them, to two men from Quraysh and from Taif? Why? Allah Azza wa Jalla saying to them as a response, أهم يقسمون رحمة ربك? Who are they who dividing Allah's rahmah, Allah's blessings? Are they dividing the bless of Allah, the favor of Allah? Allah, He is the owner of that favor. He is the owner of that bless. So He had the right to choose anyone. Inna anzalna ilayka. We send this book to you. This is our choice. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.